Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Alex, the Comic Hoarder. Thank you so much for clicking play on this video. Spider Comics 7 has brought back the top 50 books in your collection. I'm going to do a variation on that. I'm going to do the top 50 variants in my collection. I want to tag a couple people, the 9.2 crew, the Doom 143, Seeking Nearmint Comics, Master X, and Freddy's 562. I want to tag a couple other people that's kind of like my dream tags. But I want to tag like Omega Shen Ryu Kin, Hero Hunter Clint, and Lightning 2288, the originator of the top 50 that got so many people into the comic book community and so much enjoyment and entertainment, 5-6 years ago. So without further ado, here are my top 50 variants in my collection. The first is a Keras exclusive, and this is for Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man #1. It's signed by Art Germ. This is a 9/8 white pages from Spidey fans. Thank you, Spidey fan. I love this book. It's number 50. 49 in my collection is one of my favorite books that I own, and unfortunately, when it was getting graded, it got a corner crunch right there and a little bend right here. As I'm looking at it, I feel like those can be mostly pressed out, so it's an 8.5 white pages. I feel like it can be pressed out to become a 9.0 or higher, so it can get a grade bump for sure. This is Convergence 0. It's an Adam Hughes cover. 48 in that same batch, in that same grading batch. This is Captain Marvel #1. It's another Adam Hughes, one of my favorite Adam Hughes covers. It's a 9.0 white pages. It also got dinged and corner crunched somehow. Let me see here. The corner crunch, I think, boy, it's really hard to tell. Actually, the corner crunch on this one is right in this corner. So it's on the pages where the part where you open the book. The corner crunch is right there. But Adam Hughes, Captain Marvel #1. By Adam Hughes. Had to throw in at least one Gabriel Dell'Otto book, and this is Justice League versus Suicide Squad #1 by Gabriel Dell'Otto. It's 47. This is a Joshua Middleton cover, and this is one of the first Joshua Middleton covers I ever associated with his name. Supergirl #50. And the A cover is actually a Michael Turner. And this is, back then, pre-New 52, a lot of these books were ratio variants. So this is probably somewhere between a 1 in 5, 1 in 10, 1 in 15, something like that. But it's a very, very classic Joshua Middleton cover, and an early Joshua Middleton cover in my collecting experience. Next one up, I got from an awesome Instagrammer. This is Sabrina the Teenage Witch #1. It's the Adam Hughes variant. I remember the 9.2. I got this from Tessa's a Nerd, so thank you very much for that, obviously, first of all. But we talked about this on a 9.2 crew a long time ago, and I remember that it got kind of delayed or canceled, and I was reaching out to Adam Hughes on his social media, and they actually responded saying that he had no idea what was going on. Tried to pre-order it a couple times, and then finally, when it came out, I was kind of on a buying hiatus, so I missed out when it finally came out. So really, really happy to have this Adam Hughes Sabrina the Teenage Witch #1. One of my favorite Art Germ covers. This is the Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. And I always say this, but there is an Instagrammer, and I never remember at the time, that does pictures with his significant other, his spouse, his girlfriend, whoever it is. But they do pictures all around the world. They're beautiful pictures on Instagram of him taking the picture of her in front and reaching back and holding his hand. Fantastic stuff, and a really nice homage cover to that Instagrammer on this. This is an Art Germ. It's a very, very nice condition, very, very high grade. Another Art Germ, DC Universe Rebirth #1, Harley Quinn. I believe this is some sort of store exclusive. It may not be. I have no idea. I got this one from the Doom 143. This is Teen Titans #89, and it's a Frank Quitely variant. And this is the first time that Damian as Robin joins the Teen Titans. Recently, Star #1 came out, and this is the Jae-Hyung Lee variant for Star #1. I've got 2 copies of the 1 in 100 ratio variant. This is another Art Germ. This is a 1 in 100 Astonishing X-Men #1. I remember when this came out. Actually be showing a couple of these 1 in 100 Art Germs, but I got a shop in St. Louis that gives me first dibs on any Art Germ 1 in 100 or big ratio variant. So really like this Rogue and Gambit on the cover Art Germ Astonishing X-Men #1. Can't remember what book this actually is. Some sort of Jean Grey, maybe Resurrection or Jean Grey solo series, but this is a 1 in 100 Art Germ Virgin variant. I got this from the same shop. This is another 1 in 100 Art Germ, and I believe this is Thor 705. Could be mistaken on that. But really nice Jane Foster as Thor, a 1 in 100 Art Germ variant. This is the Mighty Captain Marvel. It's a cover by Alex Ross. It's the sketch 1 per store variant. And I was able to pick up 2 of these when they came out. The day that they came out, I was really happy to get it. I really wanted the color variant, which I think was a 1 in 50, or it could have been a 1 in 100. I'm not sure, but I've got a poster of it in my office and really love this cover. Like I said, I wanted the color variant, still have not gotten that. I'm sure it's not very much. I'm sure it's gone way down. But this was very, very popular when it came out, and I'm sure it's cooled off quite a bit. But this was a 1 per store variant. This is Batgirl 23. This was one of the books that I got from Jeremy Edwards, and this was also one of the books that came out during my buying hiatus. I was very, very excited about this book when I saw it for the first time for pre-order, and it turns out that I just missed it because I was on a buying hiatus. So really love this Joshua Middleton Batgirl 23. This is Gwenpool's Secret Wars #2. Can't remember what the significance of this, whether it's the first appearance on cover, but I remember back in the day, 5-6 years ago, this was a very, very popular book. This is Extraordinary X-Men #1. It's a J. Scott Campbell variant, and unfortunately this book has really cooled off. I think you can find copies of this book for maybe $20. Always loved this magic cover and J. Scott Campbell. Very good combination. This is Astonishing Ant-Man #10. I remember when this book came out and I was searching all over for it. Didn't realize that it was a ratio variant, I believe a 1 in 5 or 1 in 10. And I could not find it anywhere. Looked everywhere. I was blessed to get gifted this from a member of the community, a member of the 9.2 crew Seeking Near Mint Comics. Gave me this copy. And this is a Jenny Frison cover. I found this book several times. This is Justice League of America #6. This is the Adam Hughes variant. This is another Adam Hughes variant that not a lot of people know about. It's Superman 710. During this pre-New 52, around the 700 issues or 700 numbers of Superman, they were doing a lot of B variants that were ratio variants, 1 in 5s, 1 in 10s, 1 in 15s, etc. So this is the Adam Hughes variant for that with a really cool Superman and Batman cover. This is Legion of Superheroes #1. This is the Jim Lee sketch 2nd print variant. Love this cover with Saturn Girl. And speaking of the Legion of Superheroes #1, I've got the color variant. Awesome, awesome Jim Lee cover of Saturn Girl. One of my favorite Alex Ross covers, this is Black Adam #1. You can just see Black Adam tearing through space, tearing through the sky, thunder and lightning behind him. So this is the Alex Ross variant for Black Adam #1. This is X-Force #23, and this is the variant for that with X-23 on the cover. It's a Clayton Crane cover, and you can't show that without showing this. It's kind of an homage to Underworld IDW #1, and so that's the Kate Beckinsale cover, Kate Beckinsale movie. This is not a variant, but I wanted to show the two of them together. This is a Clayton Crane variant, and they look absolutely fantastic together. This is a book that I've liked for a long time. This is Black Widow Deadly Origins #2. It's an Addie Granoff variant. I believe this is a 1 in 10. The thing about this that is really cool is the original cover has Black Widow, same image, but in black. And this one is the white costume variant. So it's really timely with the Black Widow movie coming out that this book would be gaining steam again. It was pretty popular a couple years ago. Very, very high grade copy, but the white costume was portrayed in some of the trailers. So this is a really great book. Addie Granoff variant, probably a 1 in 10, Black Widow Deadly Origins #2. We're at the top 25, and number 25 is Superboy #2. This is a Gilliam March cover. I also remember people showing this book. Mercenaut would show this book a lot. I've always loved it, found it in the wild years ago, and was really happy to own this book. This is Harbinger 0. It's the pink variant, and this is the mail away. You'd have to clip all the coupons out of some of the early Valiant books to get this one. It's a mail away, but there is a Harbinger 0 that is not pink, and this one is the pink mail away variant. Very hard to find. This is in a very high grade. This book is super near mint. I've never seen any flaws on this book. I've looked it over top to bottom, front to back. I don't see anything wrong with this book. I'm really considering possibly getting this one graded at some point. There's a couple books in this top 50 that I should probably get graded at some point. This is G.I. Joe #1. It's the Arthur Adams Baroness variant. Really great book here. I know for a long time this book was a hot spec. This is Uncanny X-Men 522. It's the Mark Brooks variant. It's got Kitty Pryde on the cover. I never bought this for spec reasons. I just always have loved this cover. Bought it way before spec and was really pleasantly surprised when it did kind of go up in value because of speculation of Kitty Pryde being in some sort of movie at some point. But love this book, Uncanny X-Men 522 Mark Brooks variant. I got this book from Spidey Fan. This is Justice League of America 45. Very, very grateful that he sent me this book. I could not find this one anywhere. And this is the David Mack variant for Justice League of America 45. This run, Justice League of America, has a lot of great B variants. So always be on the lookout for Justice League of America in the pre-New 52 for some great variants. And this one came out in 2010. Speaking of Justice League of America, in that same run, this is from 2007, and this is actually a second print variant. The first print, you would see they would have connecting covers of both of these, probably split in half right between Wonder Woman and the Flash, and there'd be connecting covers. This is the second print, hard to find, and I found 2 of them at one shop, and I was really thankful and grateful to find them. Some more great Alex Ross. This is Justice #2 Alex Ross variant. These at one point were super hard to find, and they were going for a ton of money, but once they started being known, once the word kind of got out, more and more people were able to find them, and less people were wanting them. So still love this Justice #2 Alex Ross variant. And this for the longest time was the money book. This is Justice 5, the Alex Ross variant. Very high grade book, and love this Shazam second print. These books go great together, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there should be a Superman one, but I'm not sure. I would love to get my hands on some of the other Justice second print variant. Batman 700. And this is the variant to that issue. It's got the red hood on it, and it's a very popular issue. Can't remember who did this. Man, I want to say like Mike Mignola or something like crazy like that. Not sure, just threw that out there. Have no idea, but it kind of looks like his Hellboy stuff. So anyways, really great, sought after Batman 700 variant. Another great Batman Detective Comics variant. This is an homage to one of the very early Joker appearances in the Golden Age, and this is Detective Comics 866. This is Blackest Night #8, and this is for retailers only. It's not for sale, and it's for promotional use only. Really happy to find this. Blackest Night was one of my favorite reads when it was coming out in 2010. Absolutely loved it. Was buying every issue and couldn't wait to find out what happened. In that same run, this is Blackest Night 0. It's also the retailer for promotional use only, not for resale. I actually bought this at a comic shop, and I think it was pretty cheap. Not sure. I didn't write down the price that I paid for it. But this book is pretty sought after. It's pretty rare. There is a free comic book day version of this book as well, which would have the corner box or something like that where they could put the store stamp. But this one has the DCComics.com, not for sale, for promotional use only, and this was sent to retailers. Green Lantern #9. This is an Ethan Van Sciver variant. Always a very sought after book. I found this at a V-Stock in St. Louis in their Green Lantern section. I was very happy because this was one of the top variants in this Jeff Johns Ethan Van Sciver run. A lot of good art by Ivan Rice in this run, but this is the pinnacle all-time greatest Green Lantern run in my opinion. Another amazing book in that run. This is the Green Lantern 25 variant, and I can't remember who did there's a signature there of who did the variant cover for this, but it's the first appearance of a lot of people. I believe, don't quote me, but Atrocitus, Larfleeze, a lot of other great characters, some of the other colors of the Spectrum Lantern leaders were introduced in this issue, I believe. So very great issue. Green Lantern #25. And this is the money book for all those Green Lantern variants. This is Green Lantern 55. Really cool Lobo with all the different colors of rings on his hand. Very hard to find book. This one is in super high grade, and I'm definitely gonna at some point probably get this one graded. This is the top 10. This is the number 10 book in my collection, or in my variants. Harley Quinn #1. Got this from a great buddy, Philip. Really appreciate him and his friendship. Haven't talked to him in quite a while. We went to the same college. Harley Quinn #1, Adam Hughes variant. Love this book. The only reason I'm not going to get this graded is there's 3 color breaking ticks. Very small color breaking ticks right in this area from my index finger to my thumb. That little small color breaking dings that would really bring down the grade. So I'm just keeping it like this. Absolutely love this book. Harley Quinn #1, Adam Hughes variant. This book is a Ghost. It's a graham cracker exclusive for G.I. Joe 33. It's a Michael Turner variant, and the reason you'll know that it's the graham cracker exclusive is this silver label up here. I don't know. I said it's a Ghost. It's a Ghost to find it in the wild. You can probably find it on eBay. After Master X and a couple other people, maybe CBSI, mentioned this book, it became more well known and more people threw it online. But this is a very cool book, graham cracker exclusive. Graham Cracker is a shop up in Chicago, Jamie Graham, and it's a chain of comic book stores in the northern Illinois area. This is G.I. Joe 33, awesome variant. This is Wolverine 315, the Susan G. Komen for the Cure cover. Absolutely fantastic. It was a promotional comic to raise awareness and raise funds for breast cancer and breast health for women. And this was awesome book from 2012. Was super hard to find. I didn't even know that it was a hard to find variant, and I found it in the wild, bought it, and then showed it off, and people kind of got pretty excited about it. It gives credit to Delgado, maybe as the inker, and Benjamin Ang as the artist, but really cool X-23 variant. Amazing Spider-Man 569, once again one of those other variants that I bought in the wild, not knowing that it was a hot variant. When I showed it off, people got pretty excited. Amazing Spider-Man 569, Addie Granoff variant, and this is the first appearance of Anti-Venom. This is Fall of the Hulks, the Savage She-Hulk number 3. This is a J. Scott Campbell, very hard to find. I think it's a 1 in 5 or 1 in 15. I can remember a 5 being in there somewhere, whether it's a 1 in 5 or 1 in 15. Really hard from this Heroic Age. This Heroic Age had some pretty cool variants, and I remember when it came out. This is a pretty hard to find, valuable She-Hulk cover by J. Scott Campbell, and I found this for $5 in a shop up in Northwest Indiana. This is Deadpool versus X-Force number 1. It's a J. Scott Campbell variant. I found this at a Slackers in St. Louis area. Bought it for about $40. I'm not sure what the going rate on this book is, but I would assume it's probably around the $75 to $100 range. Really cool Deadpool versus X-Force number 1 J. Scott Campbell variant. I found this for $2 or $3 in a shop, and I was talking on the phone with the 9.2 crew when I was looking for this book. Was really happy to find it for that price. It's very high grade. Any errors that I see are on the case. This is definitely one to be considered for grading. The only issue is the bottom has a little bit of like that printing error fraying, but this is a fantastic Lucio Perillo variant for Vampirella number 19. Arguably his best variant for Vampirella, if not any variant. Most notable for Lucio Perillo. Bought this a long time ago for probably $1. This is Wonder Woman 614, and this is the Alex Gardner variant. This is my first exposure to that artist, Alex Gardner. There may have been some other variants that I saw of his that I really liked. Signed his name down there with an A and a G behind it, and now he kind of does like a swirly thing. All new Wonder Woman 614. I remember when these books came out, Wonder Woman was kind of changing her costume, changing her image around that time frame, and great book. Really happy to have found it. I've got some of the other Alex Gardner variants, but those did not make the list. I did a video when I unboxed this. I was buying almost every one of the J. Scott Campbell exclusive variants during that time frame. I'd get online every time they'd get a new variant, and I'd buy at least the A or the B, if not all of them. But this is The Amazing Spider-Man number 25. It's signed by J. Scott Campbell, and the reason why this is the number 2 book in my collection, probably in the top 20 books in my collection, because J. Scott Campbell sketched or did a sketch remark of Black Cat right here on the cover. So you got Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, and Black Cat signed in 2017, and then you've got Black Cat on the cover. I don't think there's a better character for J. Scott Campbell to do a sketch remark than Black Cat, and that is one of my favorite things in my collection that I own. I would love, this is in a very thick top loader. It was sent this way by jscottcampbell.com. So it says, thank you, +1 bonus, enjoy. And this was the bonus. So I've got this book. I had this book signed. I sold that copy. and this one came with that sketch. So number 2 book in my collection as far as variants are concerned, probably top 20 all-around books in my collection. And the number 1 book is another book that I got from my buddy Philip. This is Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes 23. I don't know if this has ever been pressed. I'll take a look at it in a second. This is Adam Hughes' variant for Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes. Iconic, really cool. I say iconic, it's just a cool cover, because iconic would mean that people on the street, my mom would probably know what this is. She has no clue. You know, my neighbor would know what this is. That's what iconic to me is more people than just the people in the hobby know what it is. And unfortunately, I don't think this has reached that status yet, iconic status, but it's definitely reached my favorite cover in my collection as far as variants are concerned. It's a 9.4 white pages. I remember when this came out, I definitely wanted it, but it was a ghost. I mean, you could not find this in the retailers, and definitely my store wouldn't have gotten it. So I'm looking at this book, trying to find if there's anything I can see that could be pressed out. There's a color breaking tick right here, and there's a color breaking tick right here. And a little bit of one of those like production errors on the corner here. Look on the back cover. A little bit of a scuffy production error on that bottom corner. A little bit of a blunted, not blunted, but like color rub on this side. Spine looks pretty nice. Either way, this one's not going to get cracked out and reslabbed. I'm just happy to own this comic book, and 9.4 is great for me. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed looking at these books. I show a lot of Golden Age. That's really what I'm after these days, but these are books that I'll probably never get rid of unless there was some super crazy deal where somebody wanted all of these books and they would give me one big book. And so that's not going to happen. I'm going to keep these bad boys, and I'm really happy to own these books. The top 2 of my favorite books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If this is your first time here, would love to have you hit that subscription button. Join this small community that we're building here on Alex the Comic Hoarder. And also leave a comment letting me know what you think about these variants. What's your favorite variant? What's your favorite variant in the beginning of this video, in the middle of this video, at the end of this video? Thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate you all. Like I said, leave a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you all on the next one. See ya. Bye.